Raise your weapon, sing a song. War is here, we waited so long. Prepare, my brothers, battle will come. And when we die, our legend lives on. See the mad moon falling. Side by side we stand strong till the end of days. Through the clash of our blades, we'll sing the warrior song.
Five seconds. It's Dyer's turn. What Raven's bad plan anyway? Just who will Dire ban? It's Raven's turn to ban. Ten seconds. Just who will Dire ban? It's Radiant's turn to ban. 10 seconds. It's Dyer's turn.
Oh, hello and welcome back. Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, all you wonderful people out there. Danog is shaking his head because I haven't actually called him yet, so you get to see him, but he doesn't know that you are seeing him. He doesn't know, so we're not going to make sure that anything bad happens right now because, oh my god, I'm actually taking off case. Oh god, and there goes the ad. Another flawless start to the day. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. Now Danog knows that we're looking at him because we have been for the past couple of minutes. How you doing, my man?
Oh, what? You didn't let me know? Nah, how you doing?
I went off of it briefly. It was because I was worried that something was gonna happen. But yeah, nothing bad happened. Nothing is wrong. We're all good. How you feeling, man?
5
Dota?
seconds.
I am excited for some Dota. I hope you've got your monster ready and are ready to watch some more C Doto. It's been pretty entertaining yesterday, and hopefully we get some more competitive series today.
It's
That's
Dyer's
right.
turn.
It's something that we would definitely hope for. And speaking of potentially competitive series, we got a game that is already underway, a draft that has started. So let's hop into it right now. More than just our ugly mugs. Boom ID is facing off against Reality Rift. Best of 3. And I don't know exactly where to rate these teams, you had said that you felt like Boom was making some pretty big gains as an organization, or as a nation over the past little bit. Reality Rift, to me, Alacrity has at times like the best player in Southeast Asia, and at times the worst player in South. I guess it just kind of comes with the territory.
It does, and I think that's just Southeast Asia in a nutshell. You've always had these potentials for being on either end of the skill spectrum, I suppose. And you've got people that have come in that have created more structure around it so that that variance isn't quite as high as it used to be, but it's still there. It's like inherent to the DNA, basically, to have the potential to throw or make these massive plays.
I agree. It's entertaining atmospheres, at least for me, at least. That sticks out often in the past for Reality Rift is playing around Alacrity's Ember Spirit. They take it first phase. Something that we don't see all that often. And then a Rubik Centaur as well. Exciting times. Real quickly, want to shout out before we get too far underway in the draft to Monster Energy. Keep us very energized through these late evenings. Of course, Bet, the official sponsors, betting sponsor rather, of BTS Pro. We're going to keep our eyes on the odds, see what's happening there, and we'll ID, or rather Boomy.
5 seconds.
Again, have what it takes. Some hard control, some good disengage. He's all over the place.
It's Dyer's turn.
Time around, any of those bans come out really from their side. It seems like Reality Rift have done their homework. They're banning out the top pick priorities for Boom, but it's good to see that Boom are incorporating some versatility into their style as well. You know, maybe we will see the first DP that they've picked in this entire patch.
Be cool.
10 seconds.
I'd be down to that. I think it kind of takes
5 seconds.
away the for Reality Rift to run DP, I think, because you've got this Centaur. It's like always really pop extras to hold on to these things that you hit. Not for
What
them,
hate
but
is
See
bad
that one
planning?
coming.
stop calling them. They banned the Oracle, anticipating that. That's that nice little combo that you have with it occasionally. Is there any danger in Ember Spirit this? Seen some people move it to position or if it gets super heavily countered, but at least to me, I'm feeling like it'd be Alacrity's hero. Are you
10 seconds.
or pick something that destroys this guy?
Yeah, I mean, you're always opening yourself up to some
5
level of
seconds.
risk, and that's probably why they've gone ahead and banned the Oracle as one of the big counters for the Ember Spirit. But it's good to see a team being confident in what they can do rather than scared of what the enemy team is able to punish them with. Like, back your skill in, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to win you most of the games, is having that confidence, as long as it's measured confidence, to be able to take it through.
That's something that definitely is not lacking in the Southeast Asian region.
Oh yeah, that is there. Trust me. Like, these players are so self-assured about everything. You can't tell them what they should be doing their way or the highway.
It's Radiant's turn to pick.
Get gone out. I've only played a couple of games in China. Very different environment as well. Get flamed in China a couple.
Did you understand how you were being flamed?
Yes.
Oh,
Question marks transcend cultural barriers.
okay.
And I got many of them.
Yeah.
Got a lot from my team as well as the opponent team.
Yeah.
You know, that's what happens.
I mean, the great thing about C though is,
Dyer's
compared to other Cs, there's very rarely any sort of like hard throws. Like, you will see a tiny airlines happen in mid. You'll rarely see someone drop their items and destroy them. It's just try hard from start to finish, and if a team says GG and not defending, they're freaking defending. Like, don't believe a word they're saying.
10 seconds.
Okay, and we had
5 seconds.
Okay, you know, they're spend anymore. Ricky gets taken. High damage, stronger lane. I always feel like Ricky should more than he did games just because of the damage he does, but he kind of like run in a dynamic where I think about him in like comparison to like EA, for instance, right, where you have that like just blow target. He's sort of close to that, but not fully. Like mates can help you out and get out of the the trouble that you're in, force staffs or what have you. Sort of like, you know, an Ember Spirit where he can jump around. He doesn't have that level of light chains. Kind of like jack of all trades and master of way, but mainly focused on the.
And it might force people to go into this this 4-staff build on Reality Rift. You know, one of those things that does counter the smoke. It allows you to stop being fully comboed together by the Rubik Centaur as well. So we could see it, even though it's not the ideal build for every single support these days. So just to see how Reality Rift go about it, and as well if they're going to get any of these heroes that just get up in on someone's face and can use the dust to full effectiveness. That's something that does still take care of Ricky relatively well.
Airbreak. Get in there. Run after him. Yeah. Take the Grimstroke now. That's I always think about like the like heal liches maybe. Then you've got like the greatest combo.
Yeah. It's a lot of damage coming out as well, you know. Big Fate Bolt, Double Edge, of course, anything to do with silence, and as well, you can kind of keep people locked in the same place if you get a right Soulbind followed by a Smoke Cloud as well. So, see how that one goes. I wonder if this is going to be your position 3 Mirana that you were telling me about from your pubs yesterday, or if it will be the pos 4, more standard.
I like it. Personally, I've been playing. It's quite strong. Obviously things get a little bit weird when you're getting into like mind
10 seconds.
players because it's hard to out them, right? It's hard to outthink
5 seconds.
that quick. But just having like that initial setup for it. Past is like a Wyvern with a Mirana, and then you have person to arrow, setup, easy kill, classics. They don't really have the greatest of setups right now, but I remember back in the day in America and probably other regions as well, there were times where Ember Spirit would go like a 4-4-0 build and then be like really steps for the arrow in the middle. I want to say that was mainly in South America, but I think it went to other regions to try and get a lot of arrow.
Thinking of what Reality Rift are going to do to round out this draft. They don't have the most games to base things off, at least on this patch. They've only played 6, I think, since 7.25 came out versus Boom's 20. So it's a bit of a variance there. They've played a bit of Faceless Void, they've played a bit of Dragon Knight, alternating between mid and safe lane. So I don't know, I feel like that would leave them a little bit too frontline heavy. I suppose they don't have a ton of magic damage right now, so something like a DK could be pretty useful.
Yeah, for DK. I mean, get hours down. That would mean you're talking about for Reality Rift and it's for a safe lane.
No, you could do safe lane Dragon Knight as well.
Okay. That the other day.
Gabby, yeah. Until they got stomped. Wait, no, they didn't get stomped. It was, I think it was Raven as well. Did Raven play it?
10 seconds.
I don't remember. It all blends together.
Yeah.
A couple of games I remember from that one, but even especially because they were.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a flurry of activity, and it's a Shadow Fiend. Okay, something a little bit different.
So offlane Marauder, likely Sardar, I'm thinking.
Yeah. I think you need to get up the level of tankiness and beefiness. Yeah, you've got it with the Lich to be able to just get in there on the front lines, find the Ricky before you get burst down yourself, and I just don't think you have the tools for that if you're playing it as the position 4.
All right, well, we'll see. And I mean, one of the cool things got now is type of strategy. Shadow Fiend goes 5, that presence are out, and then the Embers significantly puts it up out the wazoo. Right now, they don't really have the tankiest of heroes. I guess Ricky has pretty good armor. Obviously, Centaur is big, but he doesn't have the greatest like self, so he's that too. Otherwise, they're just gonna.
Yeah, I'm thinking what they could go for. Kunkka maybe. OD. Yeah, that's one of the top 3 that I was thinking. So OD, Kunkka, as well as the Void Spirit were 3 that do get picked up a lot by Boom, but I think 2 of those get countered relatively well by this Alacrity Shadow Fiend. So you're just left with the OD.
Yeah, for some reason, like, all right, Alacrity. Yeah. Takes me a second. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be hopping into a game right now, and I know that you're going to all cry, not be able to see our faces, but we are going to switch back over into the back. Don't worry, you're still going to get to listen to our voices, though, so half of the greatness is... I'm enjoying the, like, it's weird being on camera during the draft when you're not at an actual event. I don't normally do that with the cam, but...
Yeah, something a little bit different.
So, number 1, Boom Esports facing off against Reality Rift. Be able to take as far as stakes again. Keep in mind, this is round robin group stage with all 8 teams facing off against each other in between. Well, starting yesterday and then going all the way until the weekend, or something like that. And then, of course, later on, when you get towards, there's going to be playoff matchups that happen as well. So a whole round Dota 2 that's coming through. So inclined, come and check it out. It's going to be great Dota. The bets already, they're favoring Boom for Reality. 5 to 8. We'll see how that goes.
If you had to, gun to my head, say who you're going to go for, I would say Boom. Just in any general setup, unless it's a massive outdraft, which I don't think it is.
As far as, again, map, I am curious if where they're going to stick her. Because you would ideally want to like try and put her into a lane where stuff happen, right? Like maybe set up for an arrow clip like that. Where that is it?
Well, it doesn't look like she's going to be doing any sort of roaming super early on because she's gone for this Blightstone build. So it's essentially just harassing as much as possible in the lane. Hasn't gone too much in the form of regen. So it's just about securing that slot at the start that he needs so that she can then leave and then do the stuff that she wants to do. So I'm liking that. Reality Rift trying to be proactive, trying to be on the front foot and take the game on their terms.
As far as a lane, try and bully her. Ricky's probably the one that you think about to be able to win a remake. Oh, Singapore.
Is that
That's
normal?
not great. I don't know. You playing on Singapore? Check the admin chat.
I mean, that's like Southeast Asia server, right? I play on Singapore when I'm playing, so.
A quick little Max Poetic about teams need to do for a second while I talk with the admins.
Alrighty, let me have a quick look at a few of the item builds. Again, getting a little bit tired of seeing the headdress, but it's a good item, so we're seeing all teams go it out. Kezcute, he's built up into a ring of Basilius, so he's just going to want to be spamming out, you would assume, the Stroke of Fate in lane to try and counter... Is he going to be laning in bottom against a Slardar Mirana? Be tough for him to hit both of them, but maybe abusing the fact that they are a little bit short in the tango department.
Tango department.
Yeah.
Like it. That next to the department. Terrible joke.
No, it's
Terrible joke.
It's next to the kitchenware, you know.
Thank you. Thank you for saving me. Bad. So it doesn't look like there's anything far as the admins yet. We're just playing it out as is.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Do you have any of your in-game alerts turned on? Like I've got my remember to stand up and stretch between matches on my game is paused screen, and it is something that we all need to remember to do, especially, you know, now with a lot of people being stuck inside for the vast majority of the time. It's important to get that blood flow going, important to take your vitamins. Kyle keeps harping on at us about sure we keep getting that that vitamin D in our life.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I took 3. That was the right amount, but I took them.
Well, we will see. We will see. And you're getting a lot of vitamin B through that monster as well.
Oh, good. What a segue. Drink a little bit more right now. Hold on.
I unfortunately don't have any with me, but I've got some orange juice, so I'm getting vitamin C. So all the different letters of the alphabet, they're coming in.
Except for A. Nobody likes A.
Yeah, you need to have carrots for A, right? And
your nutrition.
I mean,
that's why
I got to fill my days with something, right? During all of this, so
well, you know, it's interesting.
Self-improvement.
I was talking that I saw that somebody like, now I can never tell my projects I would get done at the time. Like, we've all been lying to ourselves. We have infinite time now, and like, it's just not happening. Sad, the dark reality of all.
Yeah.
What's happening, y'all? Where's this game?
Turns out humans are just a lazy species for the majority of. But that's the thing, right? If you could do something easier or make excuses, hey, there we go. We've got to reconnect.
Well, I got a good message here from the Dota in thing. Try not to dwell on your mistakes, learn from them, and move. That's what we're gonna do. Go on in this game.
Time to go.
Perfect. So Makoto playing on the OD, got Dreamfell already sitting out with a bunch of tingos. The thing I was talking about though is like that high armor that you got on this guy, base or whatever. Going up against the Piranha, well, it looks like it's heading up top. They are gonna.
Yeah, just for the. Always useful. See someone like a Rubik, you know, you don't want to get caught out on your own. Getting a couple of the retaliate stacks up. He's already got, like we saw the other day, all of those Ring of Regens. He got the Ring of Health eventually. I don't think he went the Heart of Tarask on the. Was it? It was in that like 3 kill, 21 kill game, I believe.
Got another star. I'm not sure.
30 seconds. Should be security races.
Go X-Way down here. Get down a ward, scout out any rotation. High ground here for. Well, we could be spoiling for a fight a little bit. We got 3 heroes top right now for Boom. Watch out for.
He's going to play more confident. You can see Hyde, he's kind of sort of positioning himself up here. Marana going down below, so trying to get in on a different angle. Have someone out.
Root, the connection, the stun, it's there. It's a good amount of damage, but I don't know if it's going to end up mattering. I think it's just going to give him retaliating stacks. Walking away, still living for the moment. The regen isn't quite going to be enough. They get the kill. Well done, and Drew picks it up. Better than I thought they were going to be able to do.
Yeah, that Blightstone really coming in handy when you've got multiple people hitting onto someone with that -2 armor. It comes in big, and what was the difference? I think one more right click, and if he was able to survive for that long, and he would have got away.
They got every bounty rune. Every bounty rune, and they also managed. What a start for Reality Rift. Holy crap. That's insane.
Pretty handy. It's a good way to start it, especially with a hero like Shadowkeep. You want to be able to snowball early on, get those extra items that allow you to take dominance over the laning stage. OD's always going to be able to deny out at least one range creep, right?
Yeah, it's true. Did manage it, but at least so far to have a really good time against Shadowkeep. What you'd expect in the early going, at the very least. A bit up later.
And he needs to make sure that he does this at the level 1 and 2 stage, because once Shadow Fiend hits that level 3, you know, it's only 150 damage, but that kill potential starts to happen.
Yeah, it's really scary how quickly things turn around in that Shadow Fiend match. You know, if you do end up using the Astral, I guess that there isn't really talking about. Murano would probably be the best one. It's really like arrows. Drew, without the chains, you'll be able to have the salve in the backup if you need to. And now.
Yeah, good patience to be able to hold off onto the searing chains for that long. He just panicked a little bit and tried to use it straight away. One of those heroes on Boom's side probably would have been able to catch him and finish him off.
Yes. That tar right there. Great killed off because of it. A stomp comes in the top lane as well as they're trying to get aggro onto Hyde here. Drew, they can go for the rundown. He does hang on that flame guard, not opting to use it right now. Oh, and they just kill him bottom? Okay. Big.
Yeah, trying to go a little bit too deep, use all of those charges on the Blink Strike. Paying for it. You know, you've got a tanky Slardar that he's gone the Ring of Protection. He's already got decent base armor, and then you've got this Varana with the Blightstone that's able to turn anything around and punish accordingly.
Yeah, happens very, very quickly. Another pull. This is a single pull though. As long as they keep locked off, then they're not going to be able to get afterward. So this is going to be put to Dire relatively.
Nice little mindset from Kezcute as well, making sure that he's cut out this tree towards the bottom of the hard camp and standing in it to block the creep spawns there. So Mirana's not going to be able to get that Sacred Arrow experience. It's using the arrow.
Yeah. Pull back. Careful though, because Primo Cell's not really got that much CS so far. Slardar's kind of owning. Going to the top lane, trying to go into Hyde. We'll find the chains. Don't have any points up to play with this, but they don't need them. Nuts just finishes off the kill. FBZ was pulling the wave back behind it. Managed to get this one done, some amount of night out, but
you can see Drew, he's trying to keep the creep equilibrium there so that they can get this pull off onto the wave and just continue to nudge it more and more towards their tower. So Hyde, kind of the sacrificial lamb in making sure that they were able to farm safely for center, at least short term. Now we're going to see a lot more scrimmages happening now that they've got these extra early level.
I don't know. This is looking rough right now for Boom. Like, if I'm looking at Reality Rift, the Slardar is popping off early on. They got that kill. They managed to get all the bounty runes. The first blood was there for them earlier. Like, it's 1,000 gold lead. Not anything to write home about, but it feels like the only lane that's going kind of well is Makoto. And he's not careful. He might have gone down as well. He does pick up the raindrops now. That'll make the lane. But it's not like Shadow Fiend's hurting either.
Yeah, he only narrowly missed out on dying Makoto there. Alacrity just a little bit short on his close range Shadow Rays. As you can see, he's constantly getting bullied out. Has the Ring of Regen and those raindrops to be able to sustain through it all.
Top tower is about to fall.
Getting onto him now. Again, the Flame Guard is there. The TP away. No way to break it.
Dire's top tower has some radiant
Have to
shaped
get
pots.
out, dodge, all the way back home, and they're gonna get this. It's like it's gonna push him back by the tower when he gets there. Nice early game so far for Reality Rift.
Absolutely, always making sure to have the kill potential here on Alacrity as well. He's got the mango that he's just popped. He's gone into a bottle, so he wants to be able to take Makoto down from 50% life to 0 if the opportunity presents itself.
Dodge the arrow. Not going to be found. Who would build this SF? Yet his entire stash is full of small, tiny items. Bringing that stick out for himself.
And that's the thing, you do have the capability to flash farm very easily as a Shadow Fiend, especially once you hit that level 7. That's the main priority for himself. Now he should hit it around the 7-minute mark, which will coincide with those first neutral items, so it's going to give him an even additional boost.
Throw out there of the Stroke of Fate. They're fine. It's gold lead now is accelerate not just the BTS battle, but kind of looking like winning the regen wars as well. Odio already going to be rushing likely back here, basically. Pickups.
And the thing is, though, at least for... they haven't left themselves super vulnerable if they do, like this is suggesting, lose the early game. You know, there aren't some crazy pushing heroes on Reality Rift side.
That was close though. Yeah, the push is not amazing.
Yeah. Shadowfeet's pretty good, but you know, he's no death.
Right. And it kind of is more predicated upon them winning a fight really badly. And maybe he goes for the presence or effects buildings. That'd be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind seeing that. But I feel like that's been almost not seen at all. It's through taking a couple tower shots. Still thinking about diving this. This is a little bit dangerous here. FEZ gonna go down. Get the double edge off. So never mind. They aren't able to do anything to that. That dive did not go the way that Reality Rift would have wanted it. Taking some tower shots, but they still managed to get the kill and get out with the Ember.
Leaves Ricky down here solo as well, so you can see it's Hustler. He's trying to look around, trying to see if he can make things happen. He might try and stack once and then move around towards this mid lane.
Ricky, I mean, AYXY is going to get level 6 in a second, and then, I mean, Ricky might be in a lot of trouble very rapidly. Yeah, he's almost got 6. He's trying to kill off these range creeps right now and see if he can kill them. He's going in to deny everything. Oh, all right, there's level 6. They got the vision, they got the stun. Arrow, not going to be on the mark, but still they can dive this. Like, there's nothing to stop them from doing this at all. I mean, now with the TP, they're finally going to back out. There's a standing clock on the other side of the map. Crush comes out, trying to take down KYXY. Did he go a bit too far? Blink Strike afterwards, trying to get the vision, but they're not going to find him. And instead, the turn back onto Hustler, get out of dodge, will be able to make the escape. Again, just tanking through tower shots. They weren't able to get the kill, though.
Not able to get the kill, just missing on the arrow as well. Means it's a little bit of a failed gank, but again, both sides, I think they're keen to take this to the later stage. They want to show their teamfight prowess. They don't need to go this full strat. I'm happy that there's different forms of the meta that are still present.
Yeah, that's true. Failed jelly. Alacrity is about it.
I mean, especially as a Shadowfeet, right? It just gives you that additional burst potential early on, and then as this game goes later, sure, they don't have this massive boost right now with something like a Keen Optic, for example, but you're just going to have passively 2 more neutral items usable by your team as it gets into that second tier, third tier of neutral items.
No, I'm with you. It's gonna fit that kind of. But speaking of which, it's around that 10-minute mark. The net worth, it's unlimited by the Reality Rift cores, as there is going to be a kill down bottom. Mirana goes down. They're contesting this side of the map. A lot of heroes over here. Haze. Like it is be a trade-off of outposts. Boom, able to get a couple bounty runs.
So a little victory. They had to use, I believe it was a couple of charges of the Blink Strike. Was able to restore up, so wasn't able to use that last one to try and chase any sort of additional kill other than the Mirana. And, we're going to see that constantly happening throughout this laning stage and the early to mid game. It's, you know, I feel like Boom's going to try and get aggressive early on. They're getting close to a few key items here. You can see a smoke already coming up from KezQ towards the top side. They're going to try and get a pick off onto Drew here.
Be really nice for them. They've got to get it ready. They don't have any points in cloud yet. The stun, it's going to be there. With the silence afterwards. Who's pie?
Yeah, that's exactly what they needed to do. Now, even though they don't have this massive push lineup, they've still got a creep wave here. They've still got 3 heroes on the top side. They've taken the team fight in a vulnerable area for Reality Rift. But on the other side, you've got a double damage Shadowfeet and a siege creep, so they're happy to do this trade.
Yeah. There's the TP. Throws the frost shield onto him. Coming in there from Dreamos down here, pulls him come back in. Amp damage. Crow pays. The follow-up in some trouble now. Dreamocell could think about jumping off to the side, but he just accepts his fate. He's done. I'm trying to stay very quiet. Often gonna have the courier deliver afterwards. Not enough mana for a TP out yet.
Yeah, I mean, Reality Rift, again, getting the better half of that. They took out the tower, they took out the carry on their side, and it was only for the loss of nuts. And sure, he had to use the Chain Frost to be able to do it, but think of this time that FBZ's just been sitting in the tree doing nothing. Didn't even have the mana to be able to do it.
Yeah, it's not easy. This game has not looked amazing. They were trying to find Alacrity. Oh god, and he is living life on the edge right now. They're gonna see him off to the side, back behind the trees. They want to find the opening. Arrow dodge back by Hyde. Oh man, and he didn't even have vision there, I don't think. Meanwhile, secondary arrow not quite gonna be in range. Makoto will get the TP out. No, wait, what? TP?
I mean, maybe they're keen to fight, but I don't know. You don't really have the heroes for it.
I mean, they are all here. The follow-up is coming, but they have a haste rune on Drew. Makoto is in trouble as they're going to go forward for this one. Find the shackles, triple remnant forward. The arrow goes through the dead body, and Reality Rift are just going to run through. Boom. The cancel. I don't know why he canceled his TP.
Yeah, maybe thinking, I don't know, he was going to get bashed by the Slardar and try and make something happen. It seems really confusing to me. And Dreamocell, throughout all of that, he still doesn't have a TP. So if they're on point with looking at the Rikimaru, they're going to keep this aggression up, or at least go for something keen and maybe try and follow up with some further kills.
That was so bizarre. He's going to be kicking himself after that one. Man, Makoto feeling sheepish. He does go for a little bit of a dig there, but he didn't get anything he wanted. He wanted his TP back. That's what he wanted. Regardless, 4,000 gold lead now, and they are ready to go again. Would be a little bit scary since they have Sanity's Eclipse still, and their works of ultis defended. They're actually die again. Jumped on, and oh god, what a tragic 42 seconds for Makoto.
Yeah, he hasn't really picked up all too much. He's still 500, 600 gold away from that 4-star. So any sort of gank like that, you're in a very vulnerable position, my friend.
Aim is hard. SQ. Those are the arrows you love to hit as Mirana. Oftentimes they bait you into just so, you know, you take a good with the bad.
I think they're comfortable with the positioning, and look at all the arrows. They're rotating down towards the bottom side. They know that that's probably where Dreamocell's farming, and he doesn't have that diffusal blade yet. He's still about, what, 800 gold away? Wasn't clipped by that dust, but still, it's a risky proposition for him to be farming in these dangerous places, but I think that's kind of what Boom needs to be doing to give themselves a chance to come back into this.
I agree. It's so hard right now because, you know, on the one hand, yes, you'd love to be able to just, I don't know, you'd love to be able to farm your Riki in a safe place, but it's just not fast enough really, so he kind of has to have it that a little bit more dangerous, what have you, because otherwise you don't clear through camps quick enough. Stay behind him, you want to farm in or whatever. But I guess the other thing that is really concerning to me about this is that it's a hero that is going to not fall off, but if he can't get kill after kill after kill, like what is his role in this game?
Yeah, you need to be looking to pick off these relatively squishy supports. You know, you can do that once you've got the diffusal blade, especially against something like a Mirana. You know, if you're able to just walk out of your smoke screen, that's a gank wasted. That's time which could be spent farming. So this key timing on Dreamocell with picking up the D-blade, now he's got the M4 as well, so that extra burst potential is really nice, but still, what, 450 gold away.
The Shawl for the Shadow Fiend, Vampire Fangs for Centaur. They're gonna try and find him here. They don't have any points. Cloud though took his talent, so they can't set up onto Drew. They need the lift first. Are they gonna find it? No, he just gets out. Immediately Reality Rift pushing down bottom lane. KYXY spots out Kevin. Arrow's not long enough, but KYXY sure as heck is. They force out that stampede.
Nuts, but fine. Only the support's there to try and punish him. dominant position for Reality Rift to be in right now. They've picked up all of these neutral items that they've secured for themselves. It's what, a People's Gift going onto the Slaughter, so he's become more of a damage-dealing nuisance as well. Pretty risky for Boom, but they're still keen to fight. They've got the Diffusal Blade just now, and they want to go straight away.
Oh, they dropped down the Sentry Ward and spot up his Q right there. Did that give vision? I think that it might have. They're going to throw out the arrow now. Oh, and the Sentry Ward didn't give him vision, then that one definitely did. Load it, load it. Man. Game is hard.
That's the thing as well, you know, you've got this Ember Spirit, so he's TP'd up, he's continuing to push out this top lane so that if they do win a fight, they can take it in an advantageous position, they can do Roshan, they're just being more efficient around the map, and he's still got this Remnant sitting towards the mid lane, so it's a nice luxury to have.
Self-Essence Ring. Somebody. So is to continue to try and farm up and get towards those items. The Imp Claw is nice. He's got the Diffusal Blade too. Cloud. They can make the moves that they need to set up for kills. The problem is that at this point it feels like Reality Rift's draft almost plays itself, where they don't need to split up and like back out to farm. All they really need to do is like move together, take objectives.
They're trying to wrap here, trying to find Makoto. A lot of the Boom heroes are sitting around top, but this OD is taking up a previous position here.
I mean, it's so easy. It's so easy to get that kill. It's not even necessarily that the OD is doing things bad. Like, he's had a couple of misplays here in this game for sure, but when you're this far ahead, it's gonna happen like that.
Already finished the 4-star. He went for a staff of Wizardry. He's been toggling back and forth in his quick buy between the BKB and the Ags, but it just feels like he can't even get anything off. He's getting instantly picked up, and they're getting this burst through, huh?
And in a way, it almost feels like, because of that, like, the OD is the person that you want to have gone on last, right? But Boom just don't have the ability to take the fight because they're always on the back of it. They're not the ones that are setting things up. Like, ideally, it'd be Centaur that goes gone, right? And then maybe you can save with an Astro at the last second or something. But, you know, earlier on when he did the long team down to the outpost and then, you know, canceled it, then they ended up being able to find that kill. Then later on when they were mid, and then they found that kill. And just now as well, it's like 3 times in a row where he's found at the beginning. And that's normally what you want to be doing with the Ricky draft. Like, Ricky would be the one that's out finding it. But it hasn't gone that way.
Especially a Ricky Grimstroke as well. And you can see they just feel a little bit scattered with the style that they're trying to do. Got a Rubik Stolen Remnant, so he's going to have some more maneuverability, but that's going to be enough.
I always love seeing it. Great. Go get the Aegis now. I believe in you. I mean, they actually might. Unironically, they could. They realize that they're in here. Oh god, they have sentries? They don't have any sentries. Oh no, Moonlight Shadow chase down. Run away. Oh no, stay alive. Maybe he can do something here with the arrow. That's a follow-up stun. Makoto is done. Buyback already came from the Grimstroke. Now trying to find his way out of here. Primo Cell, as well as the poor old Hyde, are going to get ran down. And this might be a dieback on Kescute. He gets the bounty rune first, so that's something for his troubles. But in the end, it is going to be more pain and no gain. Reality Rift completely dominant.
I feel like we might be seeing a GG pretty soon. just to guess. It just doesn't feel like they have a way to come back into this game. You know, there were a couple of times after things were going their way that I think the previous death, Makoto, the rest of his team smoked up to try and make some space for him, but you're not winning these team fights 5v5 and you're trying to make something aggressive happen 4v5. You're not going to farm up the rest of your Axe Scepter in that time that they're able to create space for you. No, it just seems a little bit risky, and that's some of the benefit of Reality Rift taking these fights really well, in that to pick off Makoto, they don't need to use their ultimates. You know, maybe the Slaughter, but that's a 5-second cooldown.
You're not wrong. It's a pretty good spell to get out there. And it's kind of what we were talking about before, right? Where it's like, this is a lineup that if you do manage to sort of get ahead and Shadow Fiend can survive in a fight, then you've got all this minus armor, and that just means that you're free to go to town on Drew wherever he wants. all amped up.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
I mean, we were speaking before about the variance of alacrity in that he can have an amazing game or a not so great one. Despite the fact that this, well, we're going to see another death here.
Oh. Now everybody is remembering back as like now the Yule scepter with Void Spirit, but this is the original scepter on Mirana. Make life miserable.
Who needs another hero to set it up for you, right?
This is a good play. Nicely done with that force staff. I see you, Makoto. Although it's not quite going to be enough, it looks like. Done to try and turn it. The fear, the pullback in. Get the kill. Let's see the Aegis though. Now trying to live. This takes down. Comes a second through. He's not able to make the turnaround happen. Alacrity pops his ultimate. That does allow the rest of them to escape, but lost Drew. Can you find any more as Boom now? Are you going to overextend? They don't have Requiem anymore, but this Moonlight Shadow, it's about to wear off now. They're waiting on the high ground. Oh, Makoto, don't walk up that hill. Don't walk up that hill. Never in doubt.
It's like, oh, thank you, Ice Frog, for the scan. Because he was going to do it if he didn't have that.
Yeah.
Dreamer Cell, he's just looking to pick off one of these stragglers, but BKYXY, he's way too tanky to be soloed.
Sure enough. Yeah, they do have at least this outpost. I think they kept that one through the last round of engagements. So they're getting like, they're at least not getting trounced in the XP. But
Another smoke about to happen mid.
nice. They've lost the top two towers Reality Rift have. So Boom could hypothetically, no, if they don't really even have great heroes.
That's the downside of banning out all this stuff, right? Is that you become vulnerable yourself. Nuts, I'm really liking this build as well. He's gone into the Ghost Scepter, so even if that Ricky jumps on you, you don't need a 4-star. You can just Scepter and walk out of it eventually. By that point, he can get the Frost Shield off onto himself, and that Ricky's damage is heavily nullified. You're also not going to get this OD stealing up your intellect through his right clicks. Enjoying it. Now he just needs to hit that level 12, so his teamfight presence is even stronger.
Yeah, it's a nice little bump. The extra damage. Damage goes up a little bit. Biggest thing for so nifty.
Yeah, I think Lich Ultimate is probably one of the best scaling ones in the entire game. You know, you've got these heroes like Kunkka, which it's like, oh, you get an extra 100 damage. Oh, great, you know? Whereas Lich, it's really noticeable.
Back in the day. Alright, well, they have pipe done. Looks like Crimson Guard is there for FBZ. It's kind of been the lone bright spot in this game. And with the pipe done, getting into that Crimson Guard, I almost would have rather seen maybe that, oh god, DDSF. I almost would have rather seen the Halberd before the Crimson Guard, but this is going to be potentially good. Pretty good slow down there with the Stroke of Faith, but they're waiting up top. They want to try and get a kill on the comeback.
He didn't get the Presence Aura effects buildings though, so not wanting to go all in, just valuing that movement speed, which is completely understandable. Again, against a Ricky, against a Centaur, against a Grimstroke even, to be able to run away from all of these close range things. I feel like Reality Rift have done a good job of taking fights in areas that they want to. They don't want to get bottlenecked into one small cubicle.
Everybody hates cubicle.
Yeah.
Of course. You ever have to work in a cubicle?
No, it was always like a hot desk situation, which was probably even worse, especially now with this virus environment. It's like, oh, you're going to be working on this desk this day. Well, I don't want to have their germs.
Stay away. Well, 8,000 right now, 17. And Reality Rift playing it a little bit more conservatively now since the Aegis is gone a while ago in that fight. 2.5 minutes roughly until Aaron gobble up some cheat. He almost has his ulti all up that Hagen Scepter. I mean, again, like the way that this draft feels like it could play out in the team fights for Boom has the nice, you know? Get in there with the Centaur, create some chaos. Makoto builds up some stacks with the Astral Imprisonment, and then you just drop the hammer at the end.
Yeah.
Is there still a chance that they can like take the fight effectively if they're in formation?
I think you still need to wait for this BKB, and I think Reality Rift realized that. They're going to try and be aggressive before that key item's able to come up online for him. You've also got the level 18 ready to come up for the OD, which will be very dangerous. One big benefit for them is that they've got the telescope available on the Rubik, so that's going to buff up the range that the Astral Imprisonment can be cast from.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing to watch for. I guess speaking of BKBs though, having it now, Walter Shadow, Ember has one also. About the start, got one. So you kind of need to wait out the BKBs of Reality Rift too in the midst of the fight. Hope you can survive through because they have like, no damage right now through BKB at all.
And all you really have that pierces spell immunity is the Soulbind. So when that BKB is popped, it's not really all too much that you can do on Boom's side to stop the Shadow Fiend.
I think the nicest part will probably be getting that Soulbind onto Ember. Him not being able to jump, probably in the duration. But then it's like, okay, after you get that out there and you stop him from going crazy with the duration, you can damage without the Soulbind to win the rest of the fight. That's what's going to be tough.
Regen rune again picked up. It feels like Alacrity has been a little bit blessed here with what he's been able to pick up. He's even got the spider legs so that he's going to be faster.
Oh, Stampede, gotta get away. Nothing. Does not have buyback either. Oof. Right now, Reality Rift also holding outposts. Can they hold this push?
Probably not. I mean, if they had the Lich on their side, it would be a bit more of a possibility. Grimstroke, Stroke and Fade is always kind of nice. Once he's stolen, he's remnants.
They do need to be careful about overextending here. Roche is going to be back up in about a minute. Somehow, Boom are able to win this fight. They have a very clear objective they can go for afterwards. If Reality Rift want to push the tempo at all, sort of force this fight.
See Dreamer still, he's waiting behind as well. He's trying to pick up some of these supports.
They struck ulti immediately. It's not quite enough. Druid
They found him.
That.
They found Dreamer Cell.
Do it. Can they get that kill? Dreamer Cell goes down. They force out both BKBs, but there wasn't any kill. I don't know. That was bizarre.
The fact that Ricky died exclusively to the two supports on Reality Rift shows you the stage that this game is at.
Yeah, man, it ain't good. It ain't that great. Well, it's real hard now. Makoto doesn't have Saiyans and Tips for another 2 minutes. Ooh, loady. Reality Rift are looking solid right now. To be honest, they have been playing this game quite well. Not themselves in a bad position. That's pretty nice. It's gonna quite be enough though. The backup, the run in. Drew gets one kill. Can they find any more? Do they even need to? Arrow goes in. And they will connect. Ran through all of them. Stunned for freaking ever. He's gonna be able to save himself the moment. Meanwhile, Saiyans Clips comes out. Try and take down another round. Makoto is gonna stay in a different plane of existence. I don't want to be here anymore, but he will eventually die. The astral plane is no salvation. The second round of BKBs come out. KYX tries to run away from Dreamless Cell. Still always much on loud. For this damage, they do it. Now the Cloud gonna connect on the Drew. Defeats Blatantly has to BKB back up again. Turns the fight, takes down the Ricky. Dead for a minute. FBZ hoping to be able to find any more kills. We're already dead. So it looks like finally, Boom ID gets some signs of life. They take down 4.
Esports got something out of that team fight. I'm a little surprised at how long Makoto waited to actually use that. The BKBs were running low. The Centaur only had about 5 seconds left until he was going to be back in the team fight. So why not buy back? Why not have an impact and actually do something as opposed to wait for Dreamer Cell to die and then come in? You know, maybe just trying to bait them out to stay longer than they had to. But no, it was a risky decision, and we planting Roche quick enough.
I mean, this is the big question. Like, if Ricky was able to survive through that, this is super easy. But this right here becomes a much harder Roche to finish off. And you have to know right now, if you're Reality Rift, that this is what they're going for. Boom, realize they cannot do it. Back out, and is not going to connect. Looks like with that, Reality Rift could dodge a bit of a bullet. I mean, it's not like they're under too much fire or anything. That's still a 10,000 gold lead, but giving up the Roche right there would kind of suck. Be annoying.
Yeah. I mean, it gives them the ability to maybe dodge through some of the burst that they have on Real's side. Dreamer still dying to a Rubik and a Mirana and a Lich solo. Yeah, I don't know about that. They didn't actually have any sentry wards down. It was exclusively the gem on the Slaughterer at the time that was the reason that happened.
They got the gem back too, right?
I believe so.
Oh yeah, Rubik had. I picked up that gem. I'll do a quick check. That's somebody else might be better, but. What's up? Reality Rift want to put them in the coffin. Forward, taken down high. Stampede was stolen, but it's not enough. Come alive. Kescute on the other side will get burned down to death.
Well,
with that,
this Roche is much more takeable.
I mean, this ward in the city. They're up there. Have an idea. Going on to him, trying to take down. Is it enough now? Gets the BKB off. Maybe a little bit of skill, but it ain't gonna happen. And now they lose the Ricky. They're gonna lose FBZ as he gets a couple. 4 are now dead, and Roche is wide open.
I mean, well, the thing is, I could see them going for that sort of play if the OD was in the vicinity, but he's sitting bottom, doing nothing but pushing out a creep wave. So why are you throwing away 2 heroes and the Roshan just to get a couple of creep waves? It's, yeah, a little odd. I guess he really needs the Mithril Hammer, but
yeah,
does he need it that bad?
I mean, that's really the problem, right? Is that, like, it's not that any one thing. Oh my god. Ready to go in. The remnants are coming. We'll talk about it in a second, but yeah, it's very good for Reality Rift right now. Arrow almost connected.
I think they just need to give this up. They need to go and give up the racks. They can't make anything happen without Dream, so.
Got a little Rubik remnant hanging out over there to the side.
Alright, they're gonna go in now.
Careful. Blackerty's still hanging on to that Aegis. They have cheese on Ember. They can manage to get it. They need to blow up everybody. One giant Sanity's Eclipse to end all Sanity's Eclipses. Kodo, your time is now. Time has passed. Maybe they'll have another chance this.
Wait, how did Hyde die?
You know? I think that it was just the crow's face. Oh, arrow? Towards that. Okay, another imprisonment. This could be a decent timing right now. If they can wait out these BKB charges and then go for a second round, this could work. Banishment, another one. Chasing, arrow, back the Kodo, able to dodge away from that one. KO actually runs in. That's his BKB. Trying to run in now. See if he can find himself a kill. They're just going to be able to get at least one. Alacrity now starting to fall. They have to say they want to drop it, and they're not dropping. I don't know. 10 seconds with OD dead. Yeah. Now, the game, I mean, the game was over for a while. GG is called. 22,000 gold lead.
Makoto was playing with fire there at the very end. He had his BKB and he was trying to man fight against a Shadow Fiend that had a much better aim, and it just meant that he couldn't astral himself. He actually could have right at the very end, but he just waited for the right clicks to land on him. Like, it was like half a second timing that he had, but yeah, it just seemed like Reality Rift had this game from start to finish.
Raise your weapon.
It's Dire's turn. It's Radiant's turn. Just who will Dire ban? What's Radiant's battle plan anyway? Just who will Dire ban?
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back. Oh no, I did it again. I switched over to him before he was ready.
Perfect.
Oh no, he's there. Hello. I switched over to you a second before you were on. How's it going, Dan?
5
How you
seconds.
feeling? Great, you know. Break.
What's Radiant's battle plan anyway? It's Dire's
I am the very greatest person in the world. Or am I just shallow shell of a man? Shallow shell of a man.
Did you get up and stretch your legs? That's the important thing.
Sort of. I didn't do like the bendovers. Are you a big fan of like you know what I'm talking about? Like you cross your legs one over the other one, down and touch your toes. Big fan of those things?
I cannot touch my toes, I'll say that
No?
much. I just have horrible flexibility.
5 seconds.
I used to do yoga, so actually let's switch over into the draft before into this. You hear that there's a draft. They probably won't know what's happening.
Maybe.
Or as briefly, yeah, but one of those things. So I can actually do the splits even.
Oh, wow. That's content right there. We got to get that out there.
So
Yeah.
10
terrible idea. But regardless, we have the updated score now. Reality
5
Rift
seconds.
up 1 game. Sports not swapped sides, so Radiant still boom. Dire bans.
No, they banned the Morphling last time instead of the PL, but other than that, everything's exactly the same. Very similar as well on Boom's side, I believe, except the Lich as swapped for the AA.
It's Dire's turn to pick.
That seems. I guess Lich was kind of annoying in that last game about that like top where up the ice armor tower and then they end up killing him.
It's Radiant's
Afterwards,
turn to pick.
And kept the Centaur preoccupied for about 30 seconds because he didn't have any mana left to actually TP out, so he was just stuck in those trees. This AA completely changes around how the game's going, because that Ice Blast negates a lot of these heroes that are going to be wanting to go some sort of lifesteal, whether it be just through innate abilities or items. It just completely changes the dynamics of the game.
Yeah, it's a terrifying hero
5
to go
seconds.
against. The A with the like to see. That's
It's always banned. That's
Yeah,
why.
exactly.
Like,
I mean, there's
people just don't want to play it.
Before we get too far into it, is we have the Oracle get out. We'll have a lot to say about that combo together with Ancient Apparition. But shout out to the sponsors, Monster Energy, as you coined it yesterday, the Monster Mobile. Just energized these late. Of course, Loot.bet, the official. Staying energized and excited and very
seconds.
vigilant. Tapping on the bets as Weed Spirits picked up Oracle.
5 seconds.
What's that
Yeah.
what's that little matchup like? Lighten the
It's
viewers.
Dire.
I'm not happening with it.
I mean, I think it's not necessarily just the matchup. It's just Void Spirit's a hero that Boom Esports knows very, very well. I think they've played it 5 times in this current patch, and they've won every time. So they weren't able to do it in the previous game just because the matchup was terrible. But this time around, it looks like a very different prospect.
Well, I was meaning more in like the
10
dynamic of
seconds.
together, because back in the day, like when there was the Aghanim Scepter
5
that you would
seconds.
get on AA, like that would just buy all of the have that like 2-second window.
Yeah, 8
Queen,
seconds. 8 seconds False Promise, 10 seconds Ice Blast debuff. So you got to be on point. You got to make sure that the False Promise is actually cast at least 2 seconds after the AA debuff hits you, and then you're all good.
If you die within that time, that. And then your team flames you and like, why didn't you false promise me? And you're like, you don't understand. That's not how it works. Who would have done
You don't know how it
anything?"
works, man. You don't know.
Say, oh, but then you would have kept me alive to fight and I could have got. Oh, maybe you're right.
10
Maybe.
I don't know.
It depends how fun
this
they are.
happened to me before.
Oh, just some
5 seconds.
PTSD, like a 1,000-yard stare
Yeah.
going on, you know?
That's the 1,000-yard stare. is Dota, when you just sort of your eyes glaze over side, it feels like the brain is bouncing off. They go back for the Ember again.
Speaking of Dota.
Yeah, right. Exactly. AA Ember. That's not.
Yeah, I mean, you can lock people in place. It gives you an easy setup for the Ice Blast. The relatively short range. You don't have to be standing way back as the AA to get that radius from the to pop out. I don't mind it.
Void Spirit against the Ember. That matchup. I feel like that was.
It's Radiance back.
Where do you like Void Spirit now? Because we have seen off lane.
It's dire
I think I
strength
even saw
attack.
position 1 hub recently. High MMR players, they lost, but I've seen it. I don't know. Where do you feel like he inhabits?
I like him most in the mid lane just because I feel like you need that level of farm to make him competitive, especially now that you have the Ags as a possibility to transition later on into the game. It opens up a lot more crowd control potential. You know, having a maximum of 4 seconds of stun, of silence is insane to have, especially against something like an Ember Spirit, and it might force him go into more of these defensive items that he might necessarily not want to.
I could see that. Just that extra. I mean, we saw the Yule Scepter.
It's Radiance
I mean,
strength
if the
attack.
really tough to deal with. We'll take the Tusk. Boom, we're like, okay, we're going to, pound ground, get down there and punch people. It's like, oh, you want to play that game, huh? Got a Spear Breaker for you. What do you think now?
And a Doom, just for that, sustain and survivability. I mean, the thing is with Void Spirit, I prefer it mid. With Boom,
Okay.
they're very versatile with how they play it. Like in their last 3 games that they've picked it, it's run in all 1, 2, and 3 positions, and they've won every time. So, pretty good.
10 seconds.
Let it through. They lost now. You get a game 3, I guess.
Yeah, I
5
mean, they banned...
seconds.
No, they didn't ban it last time. They just picked around it, I suppose.
Radiance
Well, yeah, the
back.
Doom, a very interesting pickup here, and then the
Ooh.
Meepo. Okay, let's go. Crazy picking it this early.
I'm just doing a bit of research because I don't know the interaction between Resonant Pulse and Meepo. Does each of the Meepo clones
10
actually
seconds.
give you that extra little bit of physical damage block? Because I know it works with, for example, the
5 seconds.
Pango Shield Crash, but not quite sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that any of track of, okay, how many heroes does it hit, right? Because he does the same. Said Pangos does it like it would. If it doesn't, then it's gonna make me really mad.
No.
Maybe that's not the best reason why it should happen, but it feels like that's something that should be cross. The thing that's weird about this though is fourth pick Meepo. Look at this Boom draft, and what do they really have? The thing you're looking for, we control target burst damage. I guess
10 seconds.
gets the hoof stomp, centaur creep, snowball kind of with a little bit of extra damage there, but besides that, what do these other heroes do? Terrible.
We couldn't see this go like a position
That's
1
dire
Doom, could we, with Radiance and try and deal with it that way?
For Doom?
Just the Meepo, yeah. Try and dodge it, because then you've got the Scorched Earth, you've got the Radiance, you're going to be doing a lot of AoE, means the Flame Guard's not all that useful on the Ember Spirit, and Meepo, he's going to be hitting you a lot less. You still can't really deal with the poof that well, but yeah.
So you're mainly
Maybe.
worried about the laning.
10 seconds.
Yes, somewhat. With Doom, you can always, if you get a couple
5
of levels
seconds.
early on, you can transition to doing a little bit of jungling and let your supports pick up the slack in some ways, but I don't know. If they're confident enough to pick up this Meepo now, then it shows how confident they're feeling.
Yeah, I would agree completely. I feel like they're just gonna. On the last game, they might. Man, Boom are actually the ones that for themselves. I guess Timber would have been really difficult for them to deal with. You have that like somebody that pulls heroes to the lane, that space to.
I mean, Void? I don't mind it. I mean, they can maybe burst down a meat, but they don't have too much in the form of defensive saves. What's a Spirit Breaker going to do? Charge into the Chronosphere? No. It's...
Oh, I see. I thought you meant Void for Reality Rift up.
No.
Crazy.
On Boom. On Boom. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that being kind of cool, but then do you have the damage to throw into the...
It puts a lot of focus on the Void to have a good start to the game. So I guess it leaves you open to Reality Rift saying, all right, Spirit Breaker, your job is to make sure that the Void has a terrible time. And then what do? You know?
Also,
Got a big...
like, I almost wonder if it's the type of thing where you need to... Because right now, I don't think that have what... Oh, maybe you put like position 1 Tusk, right? One Punch Man. Let's go. And then, you know, you get some other type of AoE control, and then the Tusk just runs in there and just bops one of those Meepos in the face. Oh
well,
god, they are so screwed. Oh,
there's
no.
some survivability. There's some push.
Tragic. What the hell are they gonna do?
Mid Earth Shaker. Try it.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. I used to do that back in my day. I used to do that a lot. Ooh, okay, let's go. Big Stapler, man. I mean, you talk about those abilities that really work against a Meepo. That's one of them, and it's going to be a mid Elder Titan, not something you see every day.
Well, that is way better than my position 1 Tusk idea. Thank God I'm not a drafter, because that is really nifty. And as far as the matchup goes, assuming you don't want to put Blackguardy against the I guess, does it matter? It's either going to be the Ember or the Meepo, right? So
yeah, I mean, I don't think it matters super early on now, especially considering you've got the level 4 that you get the first point in Divided We Stand as opposed to 3. So yeah, I mean, it slows down Meepo's farming by a fair amount, and it means that he can't get that key experience lead that he needs early on to be able to transition through the jungle, farm up more efficiently, get some levels for nuts, for example. So maybe things will change up a little bit. I'm interested in seeing as well how this KYXY position 3 Chen's gonna go.
That the other day didn't go amazing, but maybe it's going to be a better one this time. We're going to leave our ugly mugs here. We're going to head on into this game number 2. Reality Rift pull out a 4th pick Meepo. Now we're putting themselves in a position to try and end this game around the position 10, getting a start and making sure that Alacrity just never dies. And ID coming out with the Makoto. I'm excited. I think that this game, it has the potential to be very brawly. I feel like if Boom are the ones that are in the lead, we're gonna see like more kills. If Reality Rift are like ahead, this game is gonna be boring as hell. It's gonna end in like 22 minutes. But we'll see. Could be cool.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have too much in the form of late game presence with a Spirit Breaker, as well as a Chen, he really drops off. So you'd be wanting to end this pretty early on. I think if it gets past the 30-minute mark, it's going to look good for Boom, but it's going to be really rough for it to get there.
Tough stuff. Go into this game number 2 for the BTS Pro Series. Take a quick little look-see at the bets. Tell me something about this matchup. Anything that you're really watching for in the early laning stage. Is there a lane matchup that you are either interested in seeing or worried about seeing? Is there anything that really sticks out to you there?
Honestly, I don't think we're going to be seeing much laning, and again, I'm doing my air quotes now, because you're just going to have Hustler sprinting around the map as much as he can to try and make some chaos happen throughout the map. You know, he's going to want to make sure that the Meepo is able to get some dominance in the mid game, make sure he's not getting pressured out all too much, and then rotate through with the Chen. If he gets up a few of his creeps, you can leave the Chen alone after he gets a few of those early levels.
I want to see what he opts to do in the early go here, because There's been a couple of times, like we talked about, where you have the Chen that picks up like a the range creep right at the start, which denies him some of his experience, but it means that you can like
30 seconds to
do a
buff.
little bit of like stacking better and you know, getting movements out, denying creeps more effectively because it's that piercing. We'll have to watch and wait. Tide takes over the outpost. FBZ giving some tips over to Alacrity. Dude, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna get stomping. I'm gonna.
Now that's what
I mean, I'd be tipping the Meepo if I was this Elder Titan. He's gonna have a great time. If you've ever played Overthrow before, you know how good Elder Titan is when there's a lot of heroes or a lot of things to get the buff from.
Yeah, not wrong at all. What was it? Is it the Ags build that people still have been going for on like the core ET? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you try and time the Ags together, especially with 20, just so you get that plus 70 attack speed. You have the plus 30 Astral Spirit attack. Probably the move speed, just so that you're able to continually chase people down. And then, as you said before, it just provides that BKB essentially throughout it all.
So we'll see here what ends up happening. He does take over the range creep. Doom, his range. See how that works out for them. Is top lane, Alacrity getting the treatment.
They're the ones first.
Take him down.
I'm
First
barely
blood.
done.
So far, much better start for Boom. If we remember them getting no bounty runes and giving up first blood.
Yeah, and they've rotated Hustler up to this top side, so if Kescute and Hyde wanted to, they could now rotate down to the bottom side. You can see that Meepo's actually TP'd there, so I think their job is just going to be go where he goes.
Do that. We'll see. He does show his face. KYXY is going to need stealth probably then as well. He's yep, Alacrity at the very least is going to get a wave or so of XP shared with the Chen here. Top lane, they're not leaving. They're sticking around. So you've got a very strange state of affairs. I guess that this is fine though for Chen. He can just jungle with this creep and like clear through the camps pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's having a fun time. And speaking of lanes going well, Makoto as well, he's 12-3 in this mid lane up against 5-0 on the Ever Spirit.
Makoto, like, have tour. This is the character arc that we all want to see. That last game, he's killing it.
Wait, look at it. He's got 150 damage already at 2 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and 9 armor. Like, how do you try and zone this guy out? It's not gonna happen.
Those
XY
got him.
punched down by Hyde. Nice pickup there.
More of a Venom coming in handy. That first blood going through to Hyde means that he can pick up those boots of speed as well. Now he's got the sustain coming out with his, I think it was a magic stick and a mango as well. So he just wants to be this ever-present force around the map.
Yeah, Tusk has been really climbing up the ranks, I feel like, of strong heroes that enable so much. Oh, actually takes up the range creep at the top here. Hit with it. Looks like they're gonna try and get full off the lane.
Surprised at how much time Hustler's spent in this lane. Yeah, he's only level 2. Maybe he's waiting for that level 3 to pop before he starts making rotations through these other lanes, but Dreamer Cell's the big issue for them right now. Alacrity's in trouble.
Well, he looks like he might be able to lock it off here. Steadily gets out. There was that change that happened now where you don't get your second hero until level 4.
Yep.
How big of a difference do you think that is?
It's huge. You know, you can't just rotate through the jungle if you do have a rough time. It means that everything is slowed down, like even by a couple of minutes. It's huge for Meepo because you've got this set window of about 10, maybe 15 minutes. Makoto's getting charged mid. Big.
Trying to find that kill. Fairy Fire's available. Down.
That's exactly what Hustler needs to be doing though. Like he was able to rotate through, charge in from the backside, so there wasn't any sort of vision that could have punished it. And now as well, which is really bad for this Elder Titan, is that this wave is getting almost completely denied underneath the Radiant T1 tower.
Being able to live off the side, Drew is still going to pick up a regen after pushing it under there. So one by one, things going well. Or boom, but reality making comebacks there as Toto got a little bit punished. Back in now. Again, I don't think it hit onto Drew. At bottom lane, they kill off through onto 2 KYXY, just gonna keep punching. No real threat there of a kill afterward.
Yeah, and that kill, like we've seen in this mid lane, Makoto having such a great time against Drew, just because of that kill and the fact that that entire creep wave was denied underneath his tower. He's now sitting behind the Ember Spirit, even though he's been dominant in this lane. So it shows how important Hustler's role is in this.
It goes down to Alacrity, but he did pick up a bounty run first. Yeah, I guess so that like for him, the most important thing probably is going to be levels. Can't quite catch there on the like him getting up to decent levels early on, and then obviously getting into an Aghanims later. But it feels like just getting enough points in that Astral and like some survivability is going to be a threat to Meepo throughout the game.
And now he's hitting for nearly 200.
Connection. Oh, they hit the Astral remnant onto the creep. Might not be enough though to get KYXY out as Ops the stick charges trying to live. I mean, the fact that they almost got away there would have been pretty nice, but Hyde collects the kill in the end. He's had a great start.
Yes. 4-0, wow. We're gonna be seeing some DJ style Tusk, who knows?
I think that this smoke up too is so good. They can find Alacrity right here. They've got an inkling that they know where he's at. Oh, that reveals it though.
I don't think they've got the kill potential though. That's the risk.
And he can't snowball right now. Maybe a chance. Trying to jump through. Snowball afterwards. No, he misses the shorts. And snowball, run away, and that's going to be enough to get him out. So Makoto's not much worried about it. They do manage to take down the Ember for Makoto. Hustler will go down afterwards. One. All factor it together.
This is the Sea Dota I came to see though. Run at your face. I love it.
Thank you, Astral dead too. They just jumped through Astral Step, give him the punches. There's no mana. Oh no. Alright, there he gets it. Was able to time that one. Yeah, definitely. 11 kills in 7 minutes. This is definitely that Sea Dota that I'll love to see.
They've got the Doom ready on FPZ. They're able to chase down this people.
Body block, not enough there in time. AA shows up. They're trying to keep him alive here. Ring around the Rosie. They can't get quite in range. Deny possibility. They get it. Nuts. Gets the last right click there. Oh, and that was really nice. Dude, that Alacrity like body blocks, that way they couldn't get the punches on him, and it bought enough time for the A to get the deny. That was sick.
Yeah, pretty high. You see a lot of these individually skilled plays come through. It's just about, I think honestly, the way to measure what the best team in C is how do they actually coordinate together, not necessarily who's the highest ranked as it used to be.
Yeah, that's true. Like, you know, that does work that much better together, are greater than the sum part.
Yeah.
Something to keep in mind with Dota. Very dynamic.
A champion team, not a team of champions.
Hey. D Drew. This ward here.
Yeah. They'll see this, they'll see the Hustler charge as well coming through the mid lane. You know this is happening.
He has to cancel it. No way. No way. No points right now in Echo Stop. Makoto can get after the trigger there. Quick jump back towards mid lane. Drew, gonna farm it up a bit.
Did you?
Honestly, that's fine though. Like Hustler, he doesn't need to succeed with these ganks. He just needs to create the pressure and make Boom want to react to it. And by doing that, Meepo's able to have this level of flash farm. Like, yeah, he had a pretty crappy laning stage, but he's still sitting up at number 3 on the net worth. Now he's level 7. He's going to get the next point in Divided We Stand at 11. So, not doing too bad.
So I guess that is something though that I'm a little bit concerned about is they see Nuts over here and it's like hiding against you most likely, barring some tragic misplay, but no, it won't happen. like, at what point is it that they want to try and really put the pressure on? Because we've talked about this team to hit an early timing. Is it around that, like, mechanism for the Chen after he gets this Dominator? Is it more about, like, what Meepo has? What's the sort of impetus for going on a reality rift?
I think it's fine to start pressuring these tier 1 towers even when he's only got the Helm of the Dominator. He's still got a good army of creeps here. Going to be trying to defend against with Hyde on his own, and then you can start to pressure more into those tier 2 towers beyond that.
Oh, danger, danger. Primo Cell gets away for the moment, kills off Hustler, able to back out of there. On the other side of it, KYXY, they turn onto him, get that kill as well, and seeing if they can finish off Dreamo Cell. This would be a big win. They could at least manage to get one of these kills. He does not have the mana to TP out right now. Maybe he could do something with the tree planting, but it's not going to happen. Though they do manage to get at least one for their trouble, but back at home, there's another Hyde trying to walk away. He is going to be able to back out, but with Spearbreaker coming, I think he can finish this charge. He's thinking about it.
Do it. Ah.
He wanted to. He really did. But they lose another.
Some crowded airspace as well in the Radiant base. We're seeing internationally.
Got Veil.
Yeah, trying to get that. What do I think of that? I mean, I guess a lot of the magic damage that's coming through from this Void Spirit is magical, basically all of it. So that's one way to potentially deal with this Meepo, trying to burst him down while remaining alive yourself.
It feels very weird to me. Like, the stats on it have been so heavily nerfed. That mana regen aura 9 attribute. But I guess it's cheaper as well, so that's another part of it. See, he does have that War Stomp now available, and go for a defense of this bottom tower.
You can see how much importance they're putting on it as well. Never wanting to give up a tier 1 tower, because that's what's going to be able to enable the Meepo to snowball beyond that. The Doom ready, so FBZ, he's keen to take a team fight as soon as he can.
Still smoked up. They have to know that this is... There's no way, yeah, and they're going to back out immediately. Like, that's the type of move where you see people heading on in. You want to see this creep. So just eat.
I think
he'll be able to get the tower.
I think he got the Dark Troll Summoner from the chat. Yep.
Oh, okay, got it. I thought he was going to keep the War Stomp, though.
Nice blast.
Applies the debuff on the photo, but... No. A little bit interesting. I really thought that he would just turn it off and the other... I guess opting skeletons and he clear out waves a little.
Yeah, I think turning off was probably the better play, but just making sure you got any Chen creep. Again, the name of the game right now for Boom is slow it down.
Fight! It's a blade mail that... Oh. Sure, that's crazy. I'm not sure what... Got the Shard collection. Blast off. He's very low, but the Hannah got not enough to keep him alive. While Dreamo Cell in some trouble. FBZ is there. They just completely eviscerate him then. The ulti comes out from the Elder Knight, but it's never going to be enough. A triple kill for KYXY of all people. Chen did so much damage with his creeps in that fight. And well, now, Dreamo Cell, he's got to be careful as well. They're trying to control, get the false promise. That's enough to keep him alive. So he's going Battle Fury on Dreamo Cell? Is that the play?
Guess it's all right against a Meepo. You know, typically the rule with Battle Fury is Illusion Heroes and maybe Meepo, and that's about it. Everything else you better serve to do a Maelstrom, just because you're able to have that easier build up into it.
Damn.
It kind of weakens the utility though between the Veil of Discord and the Void Spirit. I suppose it's not going all in onto one strategy as well, so that then if they build up these BKBs, yeah, Miko probably isn't going to do it. But the Ember Spirit, for example, it's not quite as impactful against him, and Mikoto is dying again.
Down so easy. I guess the other part about it that's nice that we didn't really talk about is that in the natural order that everybody's taking so much magic damage. If you can get a fight where they're kind of all together, the problem is that's also kind of what reality are want to do with their lineup group together. They want to try and take big. Maybe you can get enough team fight items by Boom that going to, you know, be take the fight effectively, but at Aghanims, they're going to need a whole heck of a lot. Now it is feeling Reality Rift have that grab.
Yeah, and they've got the mechanism completed. It just needs to travel out to the Chen as well, and you can see how confident they are. They've got 30 seconds until the Hand of God. Look at all this Observer warding. Very, very aggressive on Reality Rift side.
Kez cute. I just can't feel that FPC. They're desperately trying. Dreamcell isn't going to be enough. Doom drop down onto the Ember. That's about the best one he can hope for. A couple stapler punches, and it might be enough. Alacrity coming in. He gets the deny again. Oh my God, the Doom is so sad. He's so sad. Elder Titan is going to get flummoxed trying to jump out of there. Alacrity control for the moment, but Dreamcell didn't have enough damage. The charge comes through again, because why not? And it feels real bad.
It does, you know, it's great to be able to get these Astral Spirits off onto the Meepo, and he was dealing a ton of damage, about 350 a hit, but look at his items, he doesn't really have anything. He's not even hitting up onto level 10 despite being a mid laner. When you're at a 4 level disadvantage compared to your opposing mid, it's never ideal, and I mean, they're just essentially waiting out the duration of that Astral.
Man, what a sick couple of guys for Reality Rift. Yeah, I think that it's so just they've been doing a really good job of like making sure that they're in the right place at the right time. It feels leaving the Nether Shawl behind because they want to try and get this Kez cute. Kez immediately by virtue of that report of when this is coming. And that fast fingers there with Fortune's End still alive. They're gonna pressure the bottom tower again. I mean, it wasn't like they won the fight spectacularly or anything. It was just like a slight win, but.
I mean, they need Mikoto there to have any chance of winning these team fights, but he needs to farm. He's got a Gauntlets of Strength rather sitting in his backpack. He's going into this style of build, and they're ganking him again.
The triple stomp. Oh my God, KYXY is doing so much, separating the rest of the team from here. Do they have another round of stomps? 5 seconds away from the jump forward, finding that Oracle, forced to use the ulti on himself, which means his poor old man, Mr. Dreamcell, is nowhere left to go. As he tries to get away, it is not gonna happen. Hyde, another one to be ran down here as Reality Rift have just looked crisp, clean, and ooh, those stomps from KYXY.
Yeah, I mean, to be able to control 3 different heroes, you can see the respect coming through from Hustler, and on top of that, you've got this Meepo that's finished up the E-Blade. Now he's level 15, so that physical damage might not even be too much of a factor. You're going to miss 1 time out of 5, and for an Elder Titan who only has 8 seconds of this Astral Spirit buff, that's a pretty big deal.
God, he needs that Ag so badly. It's been a tough series for him.
Just even needs a second bracer, you know, to be able to take some of this magic damage that's coming through onto him, because he's just dying before he can do anything.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Something, anything. Like, I think that he had a really good laning stage, but it again was one of those situations where these rotations came in from Hustler, and he just completely destroyed his game. Like, he was owning in those early goings. And maybe some of that is the matchup changing as you get more levels of Amber Spirit or whatever, but definitely a big part of it was Hustler charging in and making things happen. He's rooted, and he's stunned, and he's gonna be ice blasted and hide. Left with nowhere left to go. Oh, they tried to jump to the backline. Stunned yet again. Triple stun coming through. They almost find Dreamcell. In fact, they might still be able to. Hustler's living through all of that. Kescute able to get 1 kill. He's going to pay for that one. Drew is pissed. That's his Spirit Breaker, but they will finally back out. 1 mana. Doom did already buy back FBZ.
wasted buyback once more. They continuing to go in, still got this double damage up. And finally gets dispelled with the Oracle Q. Taken away one of these trio of centaurs.
Take whatever you can out of there. KYXY. It looks like he's been playing some of this offlane. Let's look really pretty. Very, very pretty. 9,000 gold lead. Almost in. They hold both outposts. The ping comes from Hyde. They want to take this one out and at least get some amount of XP going. Now, we talked a lot about the danger of the game going later against Boom lineup if they can get to that later stage. Like, is there any hope right now that they can like stall out this game at all?
Man, it's entirely reliant on Makoto getting something out of this map, really. Just need to finish up some form of teamfight presence. He needs to get that Ag Scepter, but at that point, I think their base will be in ruins.
Doing what he can. The good old Quelling Blade, Iron Talon. I'm just hoping for something. I mean, the best way to get the farm up, though, really, is going to be to try and win these fights, and they're going to have an opportunity to take that fight very shortly. Fortunately, it is an Aegis on the Meepo.
With a Heart, and an Evil Eight, and a Chen with Mech and Hand of God. Well, and Hustler essentially frontlining everything.
Yes, they're flying Danny right now. Next there on the creeps, on the depot. Does not really care even a little bit. Hustler grid charging if they need to. Root in, turn.
Right, here we go.
On to 2. Ice Blast coming down. That man is in a hell of a lot of trouble. That's a dieback for FBZ. They stomped to the ground. The poor old Huskies buys back immediately. They have another root off to the side there. There is no damage right now from Dreamless at all. He can't even cast his abilities. There is nothing to do as they find another one. Brew goes in hard, gets another kill. One Meepo, but Alacrity does not care even a little bit.
And that's the thing for Makoto. It sucks so much because he got some great Druids hit so deep.
He just ran in and punched him to death. And there's this team was like, what am I supposed to do about this?
Yeah, I mean, in these team fights, Makoto's had 700 damage. He's like, he's got some great ass experience, but if you can't actually go in and safely do any damage,
it means GG. As the Void Spirit buys back, there is not a whole heck of a lot. Double null Tally shreds into Battle Fury, and this is the problem, is that when you get a Meepo off this type of a start, you have Chen that's been running wild. Reality Rift know what they need to do to win the game. It's close out objective base gaming, and they did it beautifully. Very impressive shot from Reality Rift as they are going to 2-0 boom. I thought we were going to have a day, but stomping 2-0.
So did I. And Reality Rift really showing up and saying that, look, we're a force to be reckoned with here. I think we're probably penciling this one in as at least a like a 2-1 loss for themselves if they were to lose, but to lose in the fashion